Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel Christian Faith and Fiction. My name's Lou, and today I'm going to be talking about the Christian fiction new releases that are coming out in November and December 2019. These are the books that have interested me the most from their book covers and description, and I've listed them by the dates that they're going to be released in the USA. I'm just going to give a brief description of each book, but if you want to find out more, I'll put a link in the description box below. The End of the Magi by Patrick W. Carr is a biblical fiction novel coming out on the 5th of November. Following his vision of the coming Messiah, the prophet Daniel creates a select group of men who will count down the calendar to the arrival of Israel's promised king. Centuries later, as the day nears, Myrad, a young Magi acolyte, flees for his life when his adopted father and others are put to death by a ruthless Parthian queen. With every day that passes, the calendar creeps closer to the coming Messiah, and over everything shines the dream of a star that Myrad can't forget, and the promise that the world will never be the same. This is one of the books that I've pre-ordered, and I'm going to add it to my December TBR. It looks like a really interesting combination of the Christmas story with a dramatic historical fiction. Lake Season by Denise Hunter is a romance novel releasing on the 12th of November. When their parents die in a tragic accident, Molly Bennett and her siblings pull together to fulfill her parents' dream, turning their historic home back into an inn. Adam Bradford, aka best-selling author Nathaniel Gray, is a reclusive author with a bad case of writer's block. Desperate for inspiration as his deadline approaches, he travels to a North Carolina lake town, the setting of his next novel. There he immediately meets his muse, a young innkeeper who fancies herself in love with his alter ego. When Molly finds an old letter in the walls of her inn, she embarks on a mission with Adam to find the star-crossed lovers and bring them the closure they deserve. I haven't read any of Denise Hunter's books yet, but this sounds like an interesting contemporary novel, and the cover is beautiful. It doesn't exactly give me the wintry, cosy feel that I'm looking for, but maybe I'll pick it up at some point next year. The Dating Charade by Melissa Ferguson is a contemporary romance releasing on the 3rd of December. Cassie Everson is an expert at escaping bad first dates, and after years of meeting, greeting and running from the men who try to woo her, Cassie is almost ready to retire her hopes for a husband and children altogether. But fate has other plans, and Cassie's online dating profile catches the eye of firefighter Jet Bentley. In Jet's memory, Cassie is the unreachable girl of legend from their high school days. Nervously, he messages her, setting off a chain of events that forces the reluctant Cassie back into the dating game. No one is more surprised than Cassie when her first date with Jet is a knockout. But when they both go home and find 3 children dropped in their laps each, they independently decide to do the right and mature thing, hide the kids from each other while sorting it all out. This sounds like a modern romantic comedy, and it's definitely my sort of cover. I'm hoping to get this one for when I'm next in a contemporary reading mood. The Piper's Pursuit by Melanie Dickerson is a historical fiction retelling of the Pied Piper. It releases on the 3rd of December. A plague of rats, children going missing, a giant beast attacking just outside the walls of Hamlin, and one young woman determined to save her town. Katerina's stepfather is neither a good father nor a good husband, but he is the mayor of Hamlin. Could he somehow be causing the misfortunes that have befallen her beloved town? Stefan knows that he must reconcile with his father, the Duke of Hagenheim, but when he hears of a giant beast terrorising the town of Hamlin, and an equally giant reward that includes gold, money, and the mayor's daughter in marriage, he heads to Hamlin. But Katerina is hunting the beast of Hamlin for herself, determined to win liberation from her conniving and controlling stepfather. I'm currently reading through this series in 2 directions. I started with the previous book, The Warrior Maiden, and then went back to the beginning of the series to read the first book, The Healer's Apprentice. I enjoyed both books, so I'm eagerly anticipating this next one as well. Seconds to Live by Susan Sleeman is a mystery and suspense novel releasing on the 3rd of December. When cybercriminals hack into the US Marshals Witness Protection database and auction off personal details to the highest bidder, FBI agent Sean Nichols begins a high-stakes chase to find the hacker. Trouble is, he has to work with US Marshal Taylor Mills, who knows the secrets of his past, and the seconds are ticking down before someone dies. High stakes, secrets, and a ticking time bomb sounds like a good recipe for a mystery thriller. And another positive is that this is book 1 in the series, so we get to jump in at the start. Echoes Among the Stones by Jaime Wright is a mystery and suspense novel releasing on the 3rd of December. Mystery begins to follow Aggie Dunkirk when she exhumes the past's secrets and uncovers a crime her eccentric grandmother has been obsessing over. Decades earlier, after discovering her sister's body in the attic, Imogen Flanagan is determined to find justice. Two women, separated by time, vow to find answers no matter the cost. The Curse of Misty Wayfair by Jaime Wright was a really popular book on Instagram earlier this year. That book seemed a little too close to the horror genre for me, with its talk of ghosts and things. However, this book sounds more like an out-and-out suspense novel, which is more up my street. The Bridge to Belle Island by Julie Klassen is a historical mystery and romance novel releasing on the 3rd of December. After a humiliating mistake, lawyer Benjamin Booker resolves to never again trust a beautiful woman. When an old friend is killed, the senior partner isn't satisfied with Bow Street's efforts and asks Benjamin to investigate. Evidence takes him to a remote island on the Thames, a world unto itself, shrouded in mist and mystery. Soon he finds himself falling for the main suspect, a woman who claims not to have left the island in 10 years. On Belle Island, Isabel feels safe and leads a productive life, but fear keeps her trapped there. When Mr. Booker arrives with news of her trustee's murder in London, Isabel is stunned. She has not left the island, yet she has a recurring dream about the man's death, or is it a memory? When a second person dies, the evidence shockingly points to her. Isabel doesn't know who to trust, the attractive lawyer or the admirer and friends who assemble on the island, each with grudges against the victim. This sounds like an historical murder mystery. I love a good mystery, but I don't like gore and guts. But this book sounds like it should be a good fit for me. The last book I have for you is Brand of Light by Ronie Kendig. This is a Christian sci-fi novel releasing on the 3rd of December. There's a price on her head, and it has everything to do with the brand on her arm. After a catastrophic explosion, Kersey awakens in a derelict shuttle, alone, injured, and ignorant of the forbidden technology that has swept her into a nightmare. The brand she's borne since childhood burns mysteriously, but the pain is nothing to that when she learns that her family is dead, and she is accused of their murders. Across the quadrants, Marco responds to a call of a holy order, not to join them, but to seek a bounty. He is a tracker sworn to bring interplanetary fugitives to justice. Marco discovers that this bounty has nothing to do with justice and everything to do with prophecy, one that involves the hunter as much as the hunted. I've read YA sci-fi before, but I haven't ever read any Christian sci-fi. I'm really interested to see how Ronie Kendig manages to weave together the futuristic elements with that of the Christian faith. I'll be looking to see whether she keeps a literal Christian faith in the future, or whether she goes down the route of the fantasy genre and creates an imaginary religion which is similar to Christianity. So those are the books that stood out to me. I'll put links to the books' Goodreads descriptions in my blog post, so you can add them to your TBR list if you want to. Let me know in the comments if there are any books that I'm missing that you're really looking forward to. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. Thanks for watching. Bye!